the medical shows are 60 years old this year, beginning with Medic in 54. And two of our panels are thinking about doing a new medical show. I'm just wondering how you approach it. And actually, both of you are approaching the pharmaceutical industry in different ways. Melisa, you have a satire of the industry on RX. Could you just talk about how you're just thinking about now putting together a new medical series?
You know what, I started thinking about it when we were doing Dallas Buyers Club, because obviously you realize how insanely corrupt the pharmaceutical industry is. And then I met someone who was one of the lead salespeople at, I think it was Pfizer, and I shadowed him for a week, and I just thought, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Like, he's the most amazing salesperson, and what he does, he just really, as a patient, obviously leaves you very jaded and skeptical about going to see your doctor and taking medicine. So I thought, oh, that's such a great character to explore. And so that's what it is. It's called RX. Jim Carrey's going to be in it, so I thought he was a good, he's a good person. He's a good person to play that role because he's a very duplicitous character, He ends up getting sick, and he's, the #1 salesperson in the United States. So he's very skeptical when he goes to his doctor.
And Neal, you have also a show called Pushers that you're thinking about maybe for streaming or a different type of distribution. So could you just talk about how you're thinking about a new series?
Well, it's just, when I was a resident, we would always get pizza lunches from the drug reps, the pushers, and they'd come with their totes, and they were always women, typically very well dressed and very tight skirts and very high heels, and they would be presenting lots of food for us. And so I was always intrigued by, and there are laws now that prevent them from giving trips to the Bahamas and other things, but there's still, if you go to the doctor's office, you'll see people coming in with the totes, the bags that they're pulling. And so I really wanted to know more about them. And so, it's a crazy, crazy business, and the training, and it's ruthless, and it's a story about sort of a woman who's been doing it for a while, who's good at it, and a young woman who was a great cheerleader in college who is on her heels. But it is about the industry, and it's, what amazes me is there's a drug that you can buy. This and also was inspired just because I'm a trustee of the Writers Guild Pension and Health Fund, and so a lot of writers were we get the lists of what drugs are being, prescribed, like a lot, like sleeping drugs and drugs for reflux. And so there's a drug, Nexium, that's really expensive, and there's a drug, Prilosec, that's really cheap because it became generic. It went off patent, so it's available over the counter at the grocery store. They're pretty much the same drug. They're mirror images. They're isomers. And so this was a way for the company to make that beautiful purple pill, and they put a lot of research into getting that color, and it's essentially the same drug. And the research shows that it works exactly the same way, but it costs, dozens of times more than the drug that went off patent. And so that really inspired me too to look into, like, how are these drugs pushed, when there are drugs over the counter that work equally as well. So that it was inspired again by real life, and asking those questions, like, why is it that doctors are prescribing these drugs so much? Well, that drug is advertised a lot on television. So it's a world that's ready for satire, certainly, and for skewing.